Today we're going to be doing the next lesson, which is still factoring, but today the A is no longer going to be a 1. So for the past 2 days, the A has been 1 just to make it easy. You're going to do all the steps the exact same. The only thing that's different, if y'all would look right here at this step. So they did A times C. 3 times 10 is 30. Yes? I need eyes with me, please. They put the B as 17. So they said, what are factors of 30? Here they are. That add up to 17, which was 2 and 15. Here's the difference. This was the answers that they used. But they had to put them over A. And what was A? 3. So we said 2 over 3 and 15 over 3. Now, before you use them in your binomials, you must simplify these two fractions. Well, 2/3 is already simplified, but 15/3 simplifies to 5 over 1. Does that make sense? Then you do bottom number goes first, so bottoms up, so 3 gets the x plus 2, 1x plus 5. So that's where it came from. All right, so everything's the exact same except that last step. You're going to have to simplify those fractions. All right, so let's do number 1. All right, what is A times C? 5 times 8 is 40. And then I have B being 22. So I'm looking for factors of 40 that add up to 22. Well, I know that 1 times 40 is 40, but that will never add up to 22. And I know that 2 times 20 is 42, and 2 plus 20 is 22. So this is my answer. So I'm going to take it and I'm going to put it over A. So I have 2 over, what is A? 5. And then I have 20 over 5. Now my next step before I make my binomials is to simplify those fractions. Can 2/5 be simplified? No. Can 20/5 be simplified? Yes, and y'all know that you can simplify in your calculator if you're struggling, right? You use alpha y equals. Okay, but I know that I can divide the top and bottom by 5. So 20 divided by 5 is 4, and 5 divided by 5 is 1. Now, if you put it in your calculator, alpha y equals 20 over 5, it's just going to give you 4, but you need 2 numbers, so 4 over 1 if it gives you a whole number, okay? All right, and then you write your answer as a binomial times a binomial. Bottoms up, so 5 goes first with the x plus 2, and then 1x plus 4. Super easy, yes? All right, let's do another one. Number 2. What is A times C? 14. What is B? -9. So I'm looking for factors of 14 that add up to equal -9. Well, 1 times 14 is 14, but that will never add up to equal -9, even if I assign a negative. I know that 2 times 7 is 14. Would those add up to equal -9 if I gave them negatives? Yes, both of them. So I got to make sure. Is a negative times a negative a positive? Yes, and a negative plus a negative would be -9. So I'm good. So these are my answers. So I have -2 over A, which is 7. And then I have -7 over A, which is 7. Okay, can this one be simplified? No. Where does the negative have to stay? With the top number, because that's where it came from. Can this one be simplified? Yes. What happens when you do -7 over 7? It simplifies to -1 over 1. And the negative has to stay with the top number. Okay, bottoms up. The first number goes with the x, so 7x minus 2 times 1x minus 1. All right, are y'all getting the hang of it? Let's see. I'm trying to find if there's a hard one. Let's do number 4. It's not really hard, but we might have to use our calculator for factors. All right, A times C. What is 7 times 8? 56. And B is negative 30. Well, I know that 1 times 56 is 56, but that's not going to work. Now, let's just pretend I really don't know my factors of 56, because I actually really don't know all my factors of 56. So do y'all remember how to put it in the calculator to help you? No, you're just going to go to y equals. Make sure everything's cleared out. And then you're just going to put the number you want, which is 56, divided by x. And that's going to give you the factors of 56. You then go to your table, and those are all the factors of 56. So 1 times 56, 2 times 28, 4 times 14, 7 times 8, and then it switches to 8 times 7, so it's just going to go back. Okay. Now, I'm looking for any of these that if I add together will give me negative 30. Which one is it? 2 and 28. So I'm going to put negatives on these because a negative times a negative is a positive, and negative 2 plus negative 28 is negative 30. So it's these two. So I have negative 2 over A, which is 7. And then I have negative 28 over A, which is 7. This one cannot simplify, so it's done, but this one can. I can divide the top and bottom by 7. So negative 28 divided by 7 is negative 4, and 7 divided by 7 is 1. Bottom's up, so 7 goes with x. So 7x minus 2 times 1x minus 4. Okay, let's flip to the back. Let's go to number 12. All right, here we go. Number 12, A times C. What is 12 times 5? 60. What is B? 19. So I'm looking for factors of 60 that add up to 19. I personally would just use my calculator. So we go to y equals and do 60 divided by x. And go to my table. So I have 1 times 60. I have 2 times 30. And I need it to add up to 19. I have 3 times 20. That's not going to work. 4 times 15. Would that work? Yes. They're going to stay positive because 4 times 15 is positive 60, and 4 plus 15 is 19. So I have 4 over A, which is 12, and I have 15 over A, which is 12. Do both of these fractions need to be simplified? Yes. So I simplify them. I can divide the top and bottom by 4, which I get 1/3. And this one I can divide the top and bottom by 3, and I get 5/4. All right, bottom's up, so 3x plus 1 and 4x plus 5. If you do not simplify the fractions, your whole answer will be wrong. Okay, do y'all want to do any more, or do y'all feel like y'all got it? Okay, I'll get you this. All right, on your assignment, you're going to do the whole thing. I do want to do number 6 with you real quick and explain. So let's do that. Notice I didn't give you X's. So you either can use this space out to the side, or if you want to use a separate sheet of paper, that's fine, but you must show your work. If you use a separate sheet of paper, make sure you attach it, or I'm not going to take it for a grade, okay? But I want y'all to go look at number 6 with me. So number 6, I'm going to make an X over here. Okay, so what is A times C? 2 times negative 6 is? Negative 12. And what is B? 3. So I'm looking for factors of negative 12 that add up to equal 3. Okay? So I know that my factors of negative 12, 1 times 12, 2 times 6, 3 times 4, and that's it. Yes? Will any of those ever add up to equal 3? No. This is called a prime trinomial, meaning it cannot be factored. Like, it's impossible. Y'all know what prime numbers are? Like, they're numbers that only can be divided by themselves or 1, right? This is a prime trinomial. So your answer is that it's prime. There is one more that is prime. You're going to have to find it in this section. Okay, so when you get to it, it's not doable. You list all the factors and they will never add up to that number no matter what you do. Then their answer is prime. But there's only one more that is prime. Okay? I also want to do number 13 with you because I haven't taught y'all this yet and it wasn't on your notes. So let's go do number 13. And I think this is the only one like it. Let me look. Yes. And we'll get into this later. But everybody look at number 13. Do y'all remember when I taught y'all the greatest common factor and we had to pull it out? If a trinomial has a number that can be factored out before, you have to do that. So like if you look at number 14, 10, 19, and 15 have nothing in common that can be pulled out, right? But look at number 13. Are all of those numbers divisible by 3? Yes. So you technically would need to factor out the 3. And you would say, okay, if I factor out 3, what's left here? A squared plus, what did I take out? 3 times what is 30? 10, and then I keep the A. And 3 times what is 63? 21. So then you would use the X method just for this part. Leave the 3 out. And when you put your answer, it would look like this, with 3 in the front. Does that make sense? Yes or no? So it won't work if you don't factor out the greatest common factor. Now the rest of them, they don't have a greatest common factor. Like if you look, there's nothing you can take out of a 433 or a 211 or a 21115. None of the rest have a greatest common factor. But because this one did, you have to factor out that greatest common factor, then you can factor the trinomial. Does that make sense? Yes or no? Okay, and then how many more are prime? One more. Okay, when you get to the bottom, 15 through 24, you're going to solve. What does that mean? You have to set them equal to, and then do I care if you use your calculator? No, I'm perfectly fine with that. But make sure you're setting them equal to 0. Like at the bottom down here, look at 24. You're going to have to pull this 10D to the left, pull this 35 to the left, combine your like terms, and just use your calculator. Okay, do y'all have any questions? You will get crazy decimals and stuff at the bottom. Just make sure your calculator says intersection. If it doesn't say intersection, then that's not the answer. Make sense? Yes or no? Okay, you may start.